Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of Game of Thrones the game. Last time we did some dark blood magic in the North Grove to hopefully do something that will possibly help the fight. We set down the beginnings of trying to poison Lud with Asher, and what's kind of weird about here we're going to try and poison Lud is that means all of our cell swords that we got aren't actually even going to be used, as far as we know. We're like saving them for later, maybe, which is good because I think the guy named Bolton, the crazy guy we've seen that's ahead of the Whitehalls and the Forresters, he's probably going to come and attack us, and we're going to need the cell swords then, almost certainly. And then we pretty much got the girl dead in King's Landing, unless a miracle happens. It feels very much like she's literally getting dragged to the chopping block right now. But let's hop into it and see what happens. This could be the last episode, last recording. It is the last episode.
The wine is ready, my lord. Your sister will pour. Once they're all seated, give the signal.
Remember, no matter how much they might provoke you, we must let them think they've won. That's them. Here we go.
Now, even if I have to drink the wine...
Gwyn!
Clever. Send the girl first. Don't let her play with your head, little brother.
Lady Forrester. My apologies for arriving unannounced. I was hoping I might have a word in private with Asher.
Now, I don't think Asher has talked to her in this entire length of the game.
I think we can agree these are not ideal circumstances.
Agreed.
But these are the circumstances we find ourselves in. I know how you must feel, Asher. What your family has suffered, it's unimaginable. Which is why the bloodshed must stop.
I agreed to your father's terms, didn't I?
You did. But I know you, Asher. You're not the one to roll over so easily. You don't like being pushed into a corner. It's not in your nature.
It would be a lie if I said otherwise.
I appreciate your honesty. I'll need that from you if this is to work. You have to understand. I've risked everything to bring peace between our houses. To meet with Roderick in secret. To tell him of the traitor within these very walls. To make sure no harm came to Ryan as our ward. All while persuading my father
Ryan, you mean
that
the
bloodshed
kid with the
would end
bruises
if
all
we
over
were
his
to
face?
wait. Have no ulterior motive. No hidden agenda. Just peace. Once and for all.
I'm sorry, but I don't trust your father. He ordered the ambush. It just as soon slit my throat as see us wed.
That was before. My father would never betray my trust.
She doesn't know diddly.
Truth be told, my father's scared of you.
Is he?
With Roderick, he knew who and what he was dealing with. But you, he thinks you're dangerous. You proved as much when you attacked his men.
They came after us.
I know. And that's all in the past now, I promise. We can make
Even
this
if I
work,
believe her?
Asher. This is our one chance. Together
I have to
we
kill her,
can
too.
control the future of our houses.
If I had a chance to tell
Just
her not to
promise
drink
me,
the wine.
when my father and brother walk through that door, nothing will happen that could threaten that future. Our future. I need your assurance. Nothing will happen.
I promise. Nothing will happen.
I'm lying to her.
Thank you, Asher. I knew I could trust you.
Begging your pardon, my lord. I'm afraid Lady Forrester requires your help.
Of course.
I should go.
Hopefully we don't have another traitor.
Thank you, Asher.
What help does my mother need?
Sorry, my lord. It was the best I could think of. But we have everything in place. How should we proceed?
Ready to poison, gosh.
Ready the poison.
Of course, my lord.
I guess I could have called it off right then. What? Why? What? Yeah. I'm willing to risk my life. I'm willing to risk Ryan's life. I'm willing to risk the girl's life. I'm ready to risk the mother's life. I'm ready to risk every single person's life. I don't care if I have to kill every person in this room. I'm going to kill love.
But at least it's done.
Where's my son?
Right to it then.
Mother! Oh, my baby. Oh, my baby.
Enough blubbering. You can have him back when we've hammered out the details of your surrender.
Lord Whitehill.
Asher. Now, who'd ever have imagined this? You welcoming me into your hall to drink your wine and call me father. I thought I'd seen the last of you when Gregor shipped you off to the other side of the bloody world.
You honor us, Lord Whitehill, with your presence. And with this union.
Honor you? I didn't take you for an arse licker, Forrester.
Father, don't bicker. Asher's showing you respect.
Somehow, I doubt it.
Would you like to sit down, Lord Whitehill?
Aye. And get me something to drink. I'm bloody parched.
Talia, won't you fetch the wine for his lordship?
We thought you'd like to sit here, Lord Whitehill.
I'll sit there. Thank you very much. In the Lord's chair. It's not like your father wanted your worthless ass in it.
Our hall is yours, Lord Whitehill. Make yourself comfortable.
Of course it's my bloody hall. But you're too ready to give it over. Your false smiles don't fool me, Forrester.
Calm down, Father. Asher's just showing you the respect you deserve.
So, Lord Forrester. You made your way as a sellsword out there, did you? Eh, a little rape, a little murder. Anything for the right price. And your family must be so proud. And all those bed slaves a sellsword must enjoy across the narrow sea. Ah, I can't imagine how my sister will be able to please you.
I think we're ready for the wine, Talia.
Aye. Wine. Enough bloody nattering. Sit the hell down, Griff, and let's drink.
I hope this works. I've gone quiet. I'm just...
A toast. We should make a toast.
Aye.
What shall we toast to?
Come on then. Let's hear it. Don't make me sit here waiting to drink.
To the alliance between our families, House Forrester and House Whitehill.
Wait, no, he will
Let us put the
dump that
bloodshed
out.
behind us.
To our families.
No, no, no. This isn't right. You first, then me. In the way of the North. Come, Forrester. Let's drink together as lords of our houses.
Do it.
Let me. Let it be you and I who seal this bond. For our houses, for our children.
She didn't know anything
I
in this entire game.
from ice.
Bother.
Not bad. water. Bring me water.
He's choking! Help him!
You fucking poisoned me. Fucking Forrester!
Father! Asher! How could you?
There we go. Watch out, boy.
Duncan! Get my family out of here!
Kill this guy. And he's done with the White Halls. Except for one pissed off lady.
Forrester! Who's the fuck?
Kill him.
It could have been so different.
Quinn!
Goodbye, Asher.
War is about trade-offs. I think that was a pretty good deal.
We've been betrayed! They killed my father! Attack! Attack!
Take down the gate!
We can't fight that many! We're doomed!
If they breach the gate, we're done for! We can't fight the entire Whitetail army!
My lord, your wound.
Get them to safety!
Of course, my lord.
I want to stay with you, Asher.
Please, Talia.
When they get the gate down, they're gonna see a bunch of dead White Halls. What they're gonna see, and then they're gonna turn
Our
and
lord is here!
I'll be your lord! He's here!
turn and spear.
My lord, your command.
Defend the gate.
We have to retake the gate! We have to retake the gate! Watch out,
Why do you care about the small folk?
This is the war you promised, Westeros.
It's not over yet!
To Asher!
Civilians are always the first, guys. Am I gonna get to win this one? That's the question. Can I really kill him?
Keep up the arrows!
They are way too close for archery.
Good idea, Westeros. Let's give those fuckers a welcome to remember.
There's several good tactics that they didn't think of to offer here. I don't think any of them are going to listen to Gwyn. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work.
Asher Forrester, you've come a long way to die.
Now, I'm liking this.
Let's see you live up to your reputation.
I'm liking these prolonged attack sequences.
Rally to your lord!
Did he just stab one of his own men? I think he stabbed one of his own men. Come on. Fight that! Fight that! I don't think that's gonna work. It doesn't seem like it's gonna work. It doesn't seem like I have a choice. Nasty shit. This is a game, I think the gruesomeness makes sense. I think we should have had more of that throughout the whole game. A little bit more. It's just... Where's Whitehall? Yeah, so what's happening in the other two don't really matter as far as I see it. Seems like it didn't matter. Seems like even hitting the button prompts, I'm still dying. Maybe I can kill a couple more guys, but
You have to get your arrows ready!
it doesn't feel like anything I'm gonna do here is gonna save it. I thought she was already dead. Two crawling guys just stab each other. You better kill that Whitehall. How's one?
Iron promise. My lord, we have to get you out of here! I'll be damned if I let another lord die on my watch. I can't run. You must survive, Asher. For the house. For all of us at Port this day. Now!
Asher survives. Interesting enough. Doesn't seem like it matters. But how many times? This is like the second or third time that the fort here has been taken over, by the way. Fortunately, horses continue running, even if their driver has been shot. Was that the right move? I think it was. Kind of feels like it should be. Is it gonna all end there? I don't think so. Now if the blood magic turned all those dead people back alive into zombies attacking right now, that would be great. Sylvie hates me now.
What you did was right.
I did what I had to do.
I'll let you light the pyre.
I have the controller, but why do I light it? They give me control for literally 5 seconds to light a fire. It gets ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how little interaction there is in these series. Press A to pay your respects, basically, which is the new meme.
Your arrival has changed everything. Even though we've been preparing for it all our lives. Now we don't have much time. We were sent here for a reason. To protect the North Grove. Winter is coming, and we have a role to play in the war to come.
Our father never would have wanted us to stand by and see House Forrester fall. Not while we can still do something about it.
It's too late to reach Ironrath. It may already be lost. You know protecting the North Grove is the right thing to do. Those were Gregor's last words.
They sent you. You should decide.
Do we march south with nothing as an army? Or do we stay here? I say just stay here. I really do. I mean, because... But the problem is we're just going to get weaker and weaker. Maybe we should march south. I want to see what happens when we march south. I want to see how that could possibly help at all. As compared to just protecting the forest. Because that's all they're doing, I think, is protecting the forest of Ironwood. To make weapons, to fight for winter. Which, we gotta survive till when winter comes. We first.
House Forrester needs our help.
So we'll gather our forces and march south.
May the gods guide us and protect us.
Now I imagine if the choices had been different, maybe Sylvie could convince the free people to march
In the name
south.
of the king, I hereby sentence you to death.
Maybe. I guess I'll make a big speech before I get killed. Move through the crowd. How about I try to walk backwards? Nope, that didn't work. It pushed me forward. I tried to walk backwards.
Bring forth the next prisoner.
Let's just walk forward. With our head held high. I mean, I can't
This
do
young
anything.
woman is accused of murdering a loyal servant of the king. Who here bears witness to her crimes?
I will speak to them. This woman is a traitor and a murderer!
Kill her! She's
A
innocent!
disgrace to her family name!
Spare her! Traitor! Shame! Take her head!
Mira Forrester, in the sight of gods and men, and in the name of the king,
End it!
I sentence you to die.
Shame!
There's the handmaid.
If you have
over there.
final words, speak them now.
She's innocent! Spare her!
Iron from ice.
Shame! Iron from ice! A brave citizen!
Oh, noble
Kill her!
Oh wow, I could have convinced.
Kneel!
Maybe I could have saved her if I'd made some different choices. Press down to kneel down. Place head. Now when you're getting your head chopped off, good information to know, stay very still. They usually take 3 or 4 attempts. Their swords aren't very sharp. On purpose. Well, I think that's pretty much the end of her. Unless they're gonna do a dream sequence or something. Well, with the end of her, I'm wondering if we're ending the entire season this way, and we're getting no ending at all. Because this feels like the end of this story, and I think we've already seen the end of Asher's story. I think we've lost in everything. And I think we probably were going to lose in everything. And I don't buy the argument, them saying that you could have possibly saved everybody. I don't think you could have saved any of them. Look at the numbers of the people they have fighting. All of a sudden it seems a little bit bigger, but not by a lot. So we abandoned the North Grove, which just kind of means it will just be there, I assume, full of monsters, if we ever tried to go back and retake it.
House Forrester. They were nothing but Stark loyalists. And the Starks are dead. Are you listening, Reek? Father wanted to make sure they'd bend the knee. And what do I find? A child lord. Ethan the Wise. With some parasite by his side. As if I'd come to negotiate. And I thought, oh, this is going to be fun.
Mira was so devoted when we first came to King's Landing. That day Cersei dragged her before the throne, Grandmother, I was actually worried for her. But she didn't have any trouble swearing loyalty to Joffrey right in front of me. Then she had the audacity to go behind my back with Tyrion, when I'd clearly forbade it. And that day she pushed me to ask Joffrey for help when he ripped my dress. It was bold, I'll give her that. But I can't forgive that she used me. And now, with all that's happened to her, who knows what else Mira was doing without my knowledge?
Well, there was a way
Grandmother,
not to
it makes me
kill him.
question if she was ever loyal to me at all.
Was I? Not really.
I saw something of myself in Garrett Tuttle. I thought I could trust in him, Sam, but I was wrong. He gave me his word that he'd stay true to the vows he'd made in the Godswood. Yet before a day was out, a brother was dead atop the wall.
So there was a chance of not
I needed
killing
his
him?
sword at Craster's. I defended him to Frostfinger. And it cost me. Whatever happened up there, a man of the Watch doesn't run away.
Who should return then? But another Lord Forrester. Roderick. Back from the twins with balls so
A
shrunken
lot of these
that
responses
White
are
Hill
things
beat him
from
into the
previous
mud in his
episodes.
own yard. Rick, I had to come and see this walking tragedy for myself. But then, he tried to stab me with my own blade. I was rather starting to like him. A shame he didn't last longer. Roderick, the savior who couldn't save anyone.
There was something about Asher Forrester. You would have liked him, Miss Sandine.
So,
He was
all
rather
these
earnest,
people
I suppose.
maybe could have been
But he
turned to
had
help me.
heart, fighting with a former slave.
But
by
so
his
far
side.
it seems like none of them have.
Asher needed my help. I needed to know if he deserved it, so I tested him. But I was disappointed. He seemed a man who cared of nothing more than the moment. But afterward, his uncle told me the truth. That Asher had been protecting his friend, a former slave. He had gave up all he came here for to protect her secret. He earned my respect in the end. If not my help.
Loyalty.
So, that didn't help
Friendship.
either.
Respect. Without them, we have nothing. I think, in the end, Mira came to understand that, Grandmother. She could so easily have turned on Sarah to protect herself. But instead, what she did, it took grace. If you're fierce enough, you leave King's Landing with your honor intact. Mira proved that. But at so high a cost.
I could have told you this story wasn't going to have a happy ending. Roderick dead, his mother dead, his little pile of timber in ruins. I just wish I'd been there to see it.
That Bolton bastard let their upstart houses go to war, Father. I'm not unfamiliar with these Forresters. Stubborn to the end. They fought hard, I'll give them that, but they were reckless. Shrewd when they should have been bold. Impetuous to the last. When will these Northerners ever learn? The Starks are dead. The war is over. And they lost.
So, some of those are blue, some of those are red. What does that really mean? So, it seems like the 5 main choices were there, and some of those were throughout the whole game, which is a new way to do it. It certainly helps solve the problem of it feeling like everything in episode 5 was really going to be the important choices, and everything in episode 6 is just going to revolve around the choices of 5, and nothing in the previous episodes mattered. They've really gone and picked, like, who you picked as your sentinel, which was your first choice. It seems to really have mattered. And then it seems to skip probably the second or third episode's choices. Those probably didn't matter that much.
Asher?
My lord.
We have some more game here, but it
We don't have
like
much time.
We've gotten no help from anyone. And maybe we were just... Maybe that was Lady Marjorie?
They may have won this battle, but they will not win this war.
Or was that Bolton's help? I mean, I don't think we... I think there was probably 3 to 5 people that could have helped us and chose not to. We literally got nobody's help. This is a rather disappointing ending, actually. Rather disappointing ending. And I don't think there's a way to rewind and fix this. I'm definitely gonna go, like, YouTube other endings. Because I'm certainly not gonna bother to spend the time to try to play this game, like, 3 or 4 other ways. We are in the case where either I have played terribly, which maybe I just have. Maybe I just don't understand the world of the Game of Thrones. I tried to watch the TV series and the first episode turned me off. It was just too violent, too much nudity, too intense for me. So that might have been part of it, is that I just don't get that world. But I tried to be cunning, I tried to be planning. I played this probably like I'd play any other point-and-click adventure. Well, not the comedy ones so much, but tried to do my best thought about how the game would work and what would help us and what wouldn't. And it seems like nothing we did worked out that way. I suppose we could have not had the girl that saved the youngest son with us, so the youngest son may very well have died. And if we had chosen the wrong sentinel, maybe we wouldn't have saved Asher. But are we really gonna try and make the argument that Ethan the Wise couldn't have died? That's ridiculous. It's funny they just thanked dog meat from Fallout 4 Maximize your game experience. No thank you. I don't want to give my email to Telltale and create a Telltale account. Which, that is one of the major problems with this game. It's just, no, I don't want a Telltale account. And you should, after I say no once, you shouldn't ask me again. And you shouldn't have a little asterisk here. I don't know what the Telltale account really would have done to help. The codex here, not enough people. Just not enough people in it is part of the problem. So it only really gives you a codex of the people you play as. This guy, we threw him in jail. We could have killed him, obviously, because it didn't matter. Talia, we have no idea what's going on with her story, what happened to her, whether she died or not. Ethan died, Mira died, Asher didn't die, Roderick died, Lady Eliza Forrester died, and Gregor Forrester died. So we know Gregor was probably going to die. As for choices, let's see if we can figure out which ones were the important ones. So staying with Bowen didn't matter. Swear loyalty to the king. I think that did matter. And I don't think that mattered. That certainly mattered. And that didn't matter. Although maybe if I didn't meet him in the Great Hall, I wouldn't have gotten killed. But it seems so ridiculous. And then forging a letter, maybe that would have mattered, but almost nobody did it. Refused to kiss the ring, well, maybe that would have mattered. Won Roderick's patrol to Elna Gorno. The romance thing didn't matter at all. Just got those people killed. Stood up for Cutter after he stole Finn's knife. 95.8% of people did that. That didn't really matter. You and 93% of players killed Miro's attacker. That definitely mattered. It's very strange that any of that. What's the Y special stats mean?
House Forrester.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna sit here and watch all that. Again. So, saving Beksha probably saved your youngest son. Speaking to Tyrion Lannister did nothing. What's weird about the actor of Tyrion Lannister is he got into doing voice acting for video games, and most notably, he was the robot in the game Destiny. And then they took him out as that voice and re-recorded all of his roles with a new character, a new actor, because I think he doesn't really have the time or probably even the skill or interest. If voice acting for video games is different than just voice acting in actual acting. So I think he got in for about 1 year's worth of games, and I think he's out now. I wouldn't suspect that he'd come back. For this game in particular, you should have just stayed away from Tyrion Lannister. Nothing he said would have helped you at all. Walked away from Britt. We tried to walk away from Britt and he still died, I think. Submitted to Griffin Whitehall. Maybe it would have been better if I died right there. And then keep the Ironwood Decree. That was pointless. That didn't help one bit. You and 88.9% when it brought along Finn. We shouldn't have, I guess. Showed mercy to Griff. Maybe I shouldn't have. 13% revealed Sarah's secret to Lord Targ. This is the decision above all else that just flabbergasted me. I didn't realize it was obviously something about being a bastard in this universe and not knowing who your parents are seems to be such. Everybody else caught on that would have been a bad thing to say, but I thought he really was in love with her and he would have overlooked it, and that it would have strengthened their relationship, not weakened it. And obviously only 86.7% of people agreed with that line of thinking and thought better. Me and 68.6% ordered Glenn Soldiers to remain at Ironrath. Maybe that was a mistake, but who knows. Killed the slave master. Only 1/3 of people killed the slave master. That was probably one of those choices where there were 3 options. Only a small percentage of people tried to stab Ramsay Snow. I figured it was worth it. It was silly. Probably shouldn't have done it. You and 60% spared Bloodsong. Now we saw at that final fight that Bloodsong helped us, so it would have probably been more difficult to keep Asher alive if we hadn't spared Bloodsong. Talked to Tyrion Lannister again. Probably shouldn't have. Told him the truth. Probably shouldn't have. Imprisoned the traitor. Shouldn't have done that. If I could just rewind to these specific choices. What these Telltale games really need is the ability to just toggle it. Just give it to me after I beat the game. Just let me click on a choice and say, you know what, I want to see the outcome. If I changed my mind, I want to do the other action. To have to rewind and play that section over again and then assumedly play all the way from that point, because that's kind of what rewind implies, is you have to go back to that point and then play all the way to the end, which if I wanted to choose the other Sentinel, that'd be playing the whole game over again. I'd much rather just be able at the end, not before, just let me click a button, change that and say, I decide, I changed my mind, I want to do the other thing. Now show me what the special stats are. Show me what the ending would be. That's all I really care about. Of course, I'd like to be more intrigued and interested in the story and actually go for further, for longer. But you really can't do that when you have so many different choices. And then, interesting. Episode 6 here is not showing me any choices, because episode 6 doesn't have any choices that matter. Then why is that even there? One of the things I also wonder is, I wonder if they make some adjustments here when they see that only 13% of the people play a revealed Sarah secret. If so many of the players do a specific thing, maybe they should go and make some adjustments and say, you know what, that should not be an important choice if it's not closer to 50%. When 89% of the players bring a Finn along, that shouldn't be an important choice. They should have some general idea even before that, but it would be nice. So we're on the main menu right now, and we have literally just Asher and the other guy. And the other guy is not even a Forrester. He's just a servant. I've literally only saved like one of the guys, one of the Forresters. See if there's anything more we can do here. Not really. Seems like I could restart episode 6, and I can hit Y to rewind, but it's just the same 6 points, which is too few on the rewind points. So what are we gonna say about this game? As a YouTuber, I can say having the Game of Thrones theme is a nightmare, because it gets content ID'd and then I have to take it out. So in previous episodes you probably hear the volume go up and down, up and down. We never got to see a guy like that. The dragons that showed up did show up for a second, but they didn't help us any. We just had to fight it. This guy didn't help us any. This guy didn't really help us any. Nobody helped us. I think there should have been a slightly better ending than what we got. I think even for the worst, absolute horrible ending, we should have gotten something slightly better. Perhaps everybody should have died, and then it just becomes blatantly obvious that we played so terribly. But this middling, where Asher's still alive and the servant's still alive, seems crazy. How they would do a season 2 like this seems kind of crazy, but I also kind of think that the girl was gonna get killed in King's Landing no matter what. But there's so many people that could have survived. I think it feels like, I don't know how you do a season 2 of this. I think if you do a season 2 of this, you tell a completely different story in a completely different area of the world and at a different time. It just gets mentioned, yes, the House Forrester was destroyed, and that's all that it touches upon. Because I don't think you can continue this story. I really don't think you can. There's too much variety. I wish there was a good ending. That's why I'm definitely going to go look up YouTube and other YouTube players and see if they fared any better than me. Again, I think if they had just taken like the first book of the Song of Fire and Ice and tried to make a game of that, there is more you could have done with that. Also, I think if it was CD Projekt Red or any company really besides Telltale trying to cover that game, that book, they could do some significant things. Like Shadows of Mordor is a probably good example too of just the kind of game, The Witcher 3, Shadows of Mordor, kinds of games that I think would work better with the Game of Thrones. I think Telltale is just getting repetitive at this point with their style of game. They need to innovate. They need to have more gameplay. They need to have a actual walking around gameplay mechanic. The graphics on this game in particular needed to be a lot better. I've talked about how the arms look horrible, and a lot of times how the art style in the background sometimes looks like it's painted on, sometimes it looks like it's CG like a regular game, and it pops out. How the faces look better, way better than the arms do, but still the faces could, and the hair tech could have been improved a little bit more. I kind of question why didn't they just have actors record this and then have the dialogue choices? Why not just go old school live action video game for this one in particular? That would have been pretty cool. Seeing some of those bloody scenes, seeing those fights come about, that would have been a cool attempt, and that would allow me to dismiss the Telltale, it's just dialogue choices. I don't think there was any puzzles in this game short of a slight map puzzle, and that was it. Like, we had to fiddle with the map, and that was it. There were doors in King's Landing we could have peeked through or tried to pick the lock on. There were, for the poisoning scene, we could have had a puzzle where she mixed the poison different ways, and that could have totally changed the ending. I mean, while we were trying to kill Ludd, if the girl had to make the poison and she made it wrong, that could have really been impactful. There could have been some kind of word matching puzzle or translation puzzle for that black dark magic, which didn't help us any at all. They've left everything way too open-ended. Way too open-ended. I wanted something in a nice little package, a tight little Christmas box of this is the end of the story. We didn't get any end of the story. We just got the end of a couple of characters. Rather disappointing. And even if this was the worst ending possible, that ending at the end should have explained how all the people that could have helped us decided to instead destroy us, and then we all got killed. Because it doesn't even turn the people against me enough, if that makes any sense. Well, fortunately, though, this is the last Telltale game I will probably ever cover episodically. I'm certain if I had played this all the way through, I would have remembered a lot more, and there would have been a lot less footage of me going, well, I don't remember that, I don't remember what happened in this, I don't remember that, because I really don't, and I feel like I would have felt a lot better about the story. But I've learned from my mistake. I will no longer be covering Telltale games until the last episode of a game is out. It's just not going to be something I'm going to do. So right now Minecraft Story Mode is out. I'm not even going to purchase it or look at it until it is completely out. I'm done with episodic. That solves one problem. But then I'm also done with the lack of gameplay interaction here. Also, I want them to innovate. I want them to do something more. I'm enjoying some of their older games that were closer to point-and-click adventures like Sam and Max Save the World and Back to the Future. Now, of course, there's the Jurassic Park game, which kind of was the predecessor to games like this, but it was heavy on the QuickTime events, very heavy on the QuickTime events, and done poorly. So that's one I didn't enjoy. But then I definitely did like The Walking Dead. I think this game in no way compares to the first season of The Walking Dead. Second season of Walking Dead, sure, I'll give them that. This pretty much compares to the second season. I would hate for them to try and put out some DLC on this, and they probably will, and then I don't even know what kind of DLC they would try to put out here, but they're typically, for Telltale, they try to put out a DLC that has no connection whatsoever to the main story, but you still have to own the main game, which I think is ridiculous because we've already done 5 episodes of DLC on this. I don't want to, I'll say it again, just real quickly. When you go episodic, you're asking a person to pre-order 5 episodes of DLC. It's the worst of both worlds. You could buy episode 1 real cheap and then pay 5 episodes in this example of DLC, or you can get the season pass and save a few bucks and then pre-order 5 sections of a game, which is no way to sell your game and no way to buy a game. No, you want to know the entire game is good, and really this episode wasn't that good. So overall, I kind of enjoyed this. I don't think I completely understood the world of the Game of Thrones. If they come out with a season 2, I probably will cover it, but it won't be very high on my priority list. I've left it was pretty disappointing of an ending. The codex is too small. The Telltale account being thrown in your face a bunch of times is too much. It's alright. I mean, if you love Game of Thrones, let me know in the comments down below if that would have significantly improved my liking of this. Because even if you like the TV series or the book series, House Forrester is only mentioned in like one sentence. That literally, from what I saw online, was that they just mentioned that a House Forrester exists, and all of this gets added by Telltale, I assume, from that. And that's kind of where I think the ball gets dropped on the story, is that I don't think Telltale's strong enough to write stories in this universe. I think I want to see George R.R. Martin's actual stories made to a game, or at least the showrunners for the HBO series. They seem to be pretty decent at doing that. So yeah, I'd say this is alright, but I feel like Telltale Games in general are just sliding. They're sliding back. They need more, put more money in it, put more effort in it, have a bigger team. They need to grow and expand their ambition. And honestly, Game of Thrones as a universe should be Witcher 3. That is what The Witcher 3 is. The Witcher book series exists. It came before the games. And they took that book series, CD Projekt Red did, and they made a game out of it. I see no reason why CD Projekt Red could not do the exact same thing with the Song of Fire and Ice series. And I think that's really what they should do. It would work really, really nicely. Anyways, that's it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and to watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. Also let me know down in the comments if your ending was significantly different, better, worse. If you really just think I played horribly, made all the wrong choices. Maybe I did. Maybe I was playing completely wrong. Down below in the description I have all my social media links, so you can friend me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+. You can friend me on Steam, you can friend me on Battle.net. I ask you to do that for all of those services. That will let you know when the newest episodes of my series come out, as soon as the new episodes are out, and it helps me with all those services as a bragging right, and it allows me to go show myself as a popular YouTuber. The other thing is, when you click on my name, Rydo, there is a playlist tab on my main YouTube page. Click on that, see all the other series that I've been covering. I just started a new series, so all new games just started earlier, about a week ago. So go catch up, go watch episode 1. We're covering Deus Ex The Fall, and I'll let it loose that after we cover Deus Ex The Fall, which is the most recent Deus Ex game to be released until Mankind Divided comes out, I will be covering Deus Ex Human Revolution, which is the game that is thought to be the most recent game to come out, but actually isn't. So check that out. There's a lot of other series. I'm doing Contrast, I'm doing Sam and Max Save the World, which for a Telltale game is a great comparison, because Sam and Max was one of their earliest games that they, or well, at least one of their earlier games that they made, and it is a pure point and click adventures game, and it has a lot more gameplay and interaction, and it's a good comparison to this game, which is one of their newest games that almost has none of that. So also go back and look at Series 2. All of that's complete now, so if you want to click on that playlist and just watch Series 2, that is out now. Or you can just pick by game. Every single game has a playlist. Go check that out. I have a lot of videos recorded and a lot more ready to be released, so I'm not going anywhere. Thank you for watching this again. Thank you for bearing with me and going through this entire series, and have a good evening. Bye.